All right, folks, gather around, because I'm about to lay it on you like a sledgehammer to a watermelon. Taxes. Oh, taxes. The word alone makes your wallet curl up in the fetal position and cry for its mama. It's like the government's got a PhD in stand-up comedy. But instead of punchlines, they're punching holes in your paycheck. You ever feel like paying taxes is like sitting through a bad joke? One where you're the punchline. And the only one laughing is Uncle Sam, counting your money like it's his personal piggy bank. Tonight, I'm going to break it down George Carlin style. 5 reasons why forking over your hard-earned cash to the IRS feels like a cosmic prank. Buckle up, because this one's going to sting tickle, and maybe even make you want to storm City Hall with a pitchfork. All right, folks, buckle up, because we're diving headfirst into the steaming pile of nonsense they call your taxes. You know the drill. Every paycheck, every April, they come for you like a pack of wolves in cheap suits, snatching your hard-earned cash right out of your pocket. And for what? They tell you it's for the greater good, for road, schools, defense. Sounds like a damn Hallmark card, doesn't it? But let's pull back the curtain and see where this money's really going, because it sure as hell ain't paving your street or teaching your kids anything worth knowing. You ever look at your paycheck stub and feel your soul just leak out a little? You work your ass off 40, 50 hours a week busting your hump, dealing with bosses who think management means yelling louder, and for what? So Uncle Sam can swoop in like a vulture with a calculator and take his cut. And they've got the nerve to call it your contribution to society. Contribution, my ass! It's a shakedown. It's a stick up without the ski mask. They're not even polite about it. Just jimmy your money, or we'll garnish your wages and make your life a living hell. And where does it go? Where the hell does it go? They'll tell you it's for roads. Roads. You ever driven down a street in this country lately? It's like navigating the surface of the moon. Potholes so big you could lose a compact car in them. I swear I hit one the other day, and my hubcap's still orbiting somewhere over Cleveland. If my tax dollars are fixing roads, then somebody's out there paving with oatmeal. Because these streets are a disgrace. And don't give me that infrastructure. Song and dance, you know what I see? Orange cones and detour. Signs that have been up since the Carter administration. They're not fixing roads. They're staging a permanent traffic jam to screw with us. Then they say it's for schools. Oh, that's a good one. Schools. Your kid's in a classroom with 35 other kids, one overworked teacher. And a textbook so old it still says the Soviet Union's gonna win the Cold War. You want to know how bad it is? They're teaching algebra with chalk on a board that's cracking like the Dead Sea Scrolls. Meanwhile, the school roof's leaking, the heat's busted, and the lunch menu's just ketchup packet surprise. If my taxes are funding education, why is my neighbor's kid learning history from a mimeograph? You remember those? The purple ink smelled like regret. That's what your tax dollars are buying. Nostalgia for 1973. And don't even get me started on defense. Oh, defense, that's the big one. They love to wave the flag and tell you it's all about keeping you safe. Safe from what? The last time we needed to fend off an invasion, it was the British, and they were wearing red coats so we could see them coming. Now we're spending, what is it? $1 trillion a year on defense. And what do we get? Fighter jets that cost more than the GDP of Sweden and break down in the rain. Submarines that can't submerge because they forgot to waterproof the damn thing. And you want to know the kicker? Back in '85, the Pentagon got caught red-handed spending $435 on a single hammer. A hammer? I can walk into Home Depot, grab a hammer for $10, and still have enough over for a lat and a donut. What kind of hammer costs $40.35? Is it gold-plated? Does it sing, God Bless America? When you swing it, give him a break. But wait, it gets better. You ever hear about miscellaneous expenditures? That's my favorite. That's the line item in the budget that says, we don't know, and you don't need to know. Miscellaneous? That's code for, we blew it on a congressional luau in Hawaii. Or maybe it's a fact-finding mission to Vegas, where some senator's researching the blackjack table. You're out here sweating, scraping, saving every penny to pay your bills, and your money's funding some bureaucrat's Mai Tai and a hula dancer named Candy. That's not a tax, that's a mugging with better branding. And let's talk about the IRS for a second, because those folks are the cherry on this crap sundae. These are the people who send you a letter that's 47 pages long, written in a font so small you need a microscope, telling you owe 12.37 from 1998 because you forgot to carry the one-on form to 99Z. And if you don't pay up, they'll seize your car, your house, your dog, and your grandma's dentures. They've got computers that can track every dime you've ever spent, but they can't figure out how to send you a refund without making you wait 6 months. And when you call them for help, you're on hold so long you start growing a beard. By the time you get through, you're talking to a guy named Carl who sounds like he's reading the tax code for the first time. Sir, it says here, let me check. Yeah, you're screwed. Now, I'm not saying we don't need taxes. I get it. Roads gotta get paved, schools gotta teach, and we probably need a few tanks in case Canada gets any funny ideas. But can we at least get a receipt? Can we get a little transparency? I want a pie chart, a bar graph, hell, a PowerPoint presentation showing me exactly where my money's going. Because right now it feels like we're all just writing blank checks to a black hole with a smiley face on it. And the worst part, they've got us so beat down, so tired, so busy just trying to survive that we don't even have the energy to ask the tough questions. Where's the accountability? Where's the oversight? Who's watching the watchers? You know what burns me up the most? It's not just the money. It's the betrayal. You work hard, you play by the rules, you do your part, and what do you get? A system that treats you like a sucker. They take your money, they waste it, and then they have the gall to tell you it's your patriotic duty to keep forking it over. Patriotic duty. How about their duty to us? How about a government that respects the sweat and tears that go into every dollar? How about a system that doesn't make you feel like you're funding a clown show with $1 billion budget? So here's the deal, folks. It's time to wake up. It's time to start asking questions, demanding answers, and holding these jokers accountable. Because this is your money, your life, your country. You're not just a taxpayer. You're the one keeping this whole circus running. So next time they come for your wallet, don't just hand it over and shrug. Get mad. Get loud. Channel that frustration into something real. Write a letter, make a call, vote for someone who's not just going to smile and lie to your face. Because if we don't start demanding better, they're going to keep taking more, and we'll be left with nothing but potholes, old textbooks, and a 4-35 hammer we never asked for. Let's get to work. All right, folks, strap in, because we're going to take a wild ride through the steaming pile of horse manure they call the system. Yeah, the system. The one that's supposed to be fair, equal, all that, land of opportunity. Jazz they fed us in school. Spoiler alert. It's rigged tighter than a drum, and it's built to screw the little guy, you, me, the poor sap working 2 jobs to keep the lights on. Meanwhile, the fat cats at the top are laughing their way to the bank, sipping champagne, and wiping their asses with $100 bills. Let's start with the tax code, shall we? That thing's thicker than a 90s phone book. Remember those? You could kill a man with one if you swung it hard enough. Thousands of pages, written in some kind of hieroglyphic gibberish that only a lawyer with a lobotomy could pretend to understand. You think that monstrosity was written for you? For Joe Schmo clocking in at the factory or the coffee shop? Hell no! It's a goddamn love letter to the rich, wrapped in a bow made of loopholes, deductions, and offshore accounts. Stuff you and I can't even dream of touching. It's like they're playing poker with a stacked deck, and we're stuck playing Go Fish with half the cards missing. In 2020, the IRS know those friendly folks who love auditing your 40 tax return put out some numbers that'll make your blood boil. The top 1% of earners, the ones with private jets and third vacation homes, paid an effective tax rate about 20%. 20%! Meanwhile, you, the average working stiff, you're coughing up closer to 30%. You're out there busting your hump, sweating through your shirt, praying your car doesn't crap out on the way to work, and you're paying a higher percentage than the guy who owns the company. Ain't that a kick in the nuts? They're out there dancing through tax heavens like it's a Caribbean cruise, while you're scraping by, wondering if you can afford to fix the leak in your roof. You remember Leona Helmsley, that hotel queen, the one with the face like a melted candle and the heart to match. She had the balls to say out loud what they all think. Only the little people pay taxes. And you know what? She wasn't wrong. She just made the mistake of saying the quiet part loud. The rich don't pay taxes, not really. They've got armies of accountants, slicker than snake oil salesmen, finding every loophole, every deduction, every shady offshore account in the Caymans. They're playing a game of 3, card mon with their money, and the IRS is too busy sniffing around your W-2 to notice. Meanwhile, you miss one form, one lousy piece of paper, and the IRS is on you like a pit bull on a pork chop. They'll garnish your wages, freeze your bank account, and send you letters that read like death threats from a mob boss. You're out there trying to make ends meet, and they're treating you like you're Al Capone hiding millions in a vault. You ever try calling the IRS? It's like trying to get an audience with the Pope, except the Pope might actually pick up the phone. You're on hold for 3 hours, listening to elevator music that sounds like it was recorded in a dentist's office, and when you finally get through, some drone reads you the fine print like you're supposed to understand it. Sir, you failed to file Form 1099Z/Q47. What the hell is that? Sounds like a rejected Star Wars droid, and it's not just taxes. The whole damn system is built to keep you down. You ever try to get a loan? If you're a regular person, they want your firstborn child as collateral. Credit score, income history, blood type. They'll dig through your life like they're looking for buried treasure. But if you're a corporation or some Wall Street hotshot, they'll throw money at you faster than you can say bailout. Remember 2008? Banks tanked the economy, pissed away billions, and who got the golden parachute? Not you. Not the guy who lost his house because the mortgage company played fast and loose with his loan. The bankers got bailed out, and you got a foreclosure notice. That's the system, folks. Heads they win, tails you lose. You think it's just money? Oh, no, no. No. It's everything. Healthcare, you're one bad diagnosis away from bankruptcy, while the CEOs of insurance companies are buying their third yacht. Education. Kids are drowning in student debt before they're old enough to drink, while the universities build new football stadiums. Justice. If you're rich, you can afford a lawyer who'll get you off faster than a teenager in the back of a book. But if you're poor, good luck, pal. You're getting a public defender who's juggling 50 cases and hasn't slept since the Clinton administration. And don't get me started on the politicians. They're supposed to be working for us, right? Public servants. What a crock! They're out there kissing the ring of every corporate donor, passing laws that make it easier for the rich to get richer and harder for you to get by. They'll stand up there waving the flag, talking about the American dream, while they're picking your pocket and handing the cash to their buddies in the boardroom. It's a rigged game and they're the house. The house always wins. But here's the thing, folks. We're not helpless. They want you to think you are. They want you to feel like a cog in the machine, like you can't do anything about it. That's how they keep you in line. They want you tired, broke, and scared, because when you're tired, broke, and scared, you don't fight back. You don't ask questions. You just keep your head down and take it. But you know what? You're tougher than that. You're smarter than that. You're the ones who keep this country running. The truck drivers, the nurses, the teachers, the people who actually do the work. Not the suits in the penthouse offices, not the politicians in their ivory towers. You. So what do? We stop buying the lie. We stop believing that this is just how it is. We start asking questions, loud ones. Why does the CEO make 300 times what the average worker makes? Why does a hedge fund manager pay less in taxes than a school teacher? Why do we bail out banks but let families lose their homes? We get mad. We get loud. We get together. Because when we stand together, when we raise our voices, we're not just a bunch of little guys anymore. We're a force. We're the ones who can tip the scales, who can tear down this rigged system and build something better. Something that works for all of us, not just the ones at the top. You're not just a number. You're not just a paycheck or a tax form. You're the backbone of this country. And it's time they remembered that. So let's make some noise, shake things up. Let's remind them that the little guy's still here and we're not going anywhere. Not without a fight. All right, folks, strap in, because we're diving headfirst into the steaming pile of manure that is the system. And trust me, it's rigged tighter than a drum to screw the little guy. You know it, I know it. And the fat cats at the top are laughing their tailored suit asses off while they sip champagne in their penthouses. Let's talk about fairness, or more accurately, the complete lack of it, because this whole setup is about as fair as a carnival game where the prizes are glued to the shelf. You're out there busting your hump, sweating through your shirt, trying to make a living, and the system's got its boot on your neck, whispering, work harder, schmuck, I need a new yacht, take the tax code for starters. That thing's a beast, thicker than a 90s phone book and written in a language so convoluted it'd make a rocket scientist cry. You think that monstrosity was designed with you in mind? Hell no, it's a love letter to the rich, sealed with a kiss and a tax break. You got loopholes, deductions, offshore accounts, fancy tricks that are about as accessible to you and me as a private jet to the moon. The IRS own numbers from 2020 don't lie. The top 1% of earners, those silver spoon types, paid an effective tax rate of about 20%. Meanwhile, you, the average Joe, the guy who's just trying to keep the lights on and maybe afford a burger on Friday night, you're coughing up closer to 30%. Yeah, you heard that right. You're paying more of your hard-earned cash proportionally than the dude with a gold-plated toilet. How's that for a kick in the teeth? And don't even get me started on the Leona Helmsleys of the world. You remember her, that hotel queen with a face like a slapped bulldog who let it slip. Only the little people pay taxes. She wasn't wrong. She just had the balls to say it out loud. The rest of them, they're just smarter about keeping their mouths shut while they're dancing through tax havens like it's a goddamn Caribbean cruise. They've got armies of accountants, lawyers, and financial wizards who can make money disappear faster than a magician at a kid's birthday party. Poof. Gone. Meanwhile, you're out here getting nickel and dimed on every paycheck, every grocery bill, every time you sneeze. Miss one form, forget one receipt, and the IRS is on you like a pit bull on a pork chop, ready to audit you back to the Stone Age. But the big dogs, they skate free because the system's built to let them. It's not just taxes either. The whole game's tilted. You ever try to get a loan? If you're one of the little guys, they'll make you jump through hoops like a circus poodle. Credit score, employment history, blood sample, your grandma's maiden name. Prove you're worthy, peasant! But the big shots, they crash entire economies, tank the housing market, and still get bailed out with your tax dollars. They're too big to fail, see? You're just small enough to get crushed. You lose your job, miss a mortgage payment, and suddenly you're out on the street while the Wall Street boys are popping corks on their third vacation home. It's a rigged casino and you're not even allowed near the high roller table. Let's talk about work, too. You're out there grinding 40, 50, 60 hours a week, maybe juggling 2 jobs, and what do you get? A paycheck that's already spoken for before you cash it. Rent's due, groceries ain't cheap, and don't even think about getting sick, because healthcare will bleed you drier than a desert in July. Meanwhile, the CEO of some megacorp is pulling in millions for sitting in meetings and signing papers. You think they're working harder than you? Bullshit! They're not breaking a sweat, they're breaking records for how much they can stuff in their pockets while the rest of us are scraping by. In 2021, the median CEO to worker pay ratio was 272 to 1. You're out there killing yourself for $1, and they're making 272 times what you do for playing golf with other rich pricks. That's not a job, that's a jackpot. And don't even try to climb the ladder, because that's rigged too. They'll dangle the American dream in front of you like a carrot on a stick. Work hard, play by the rules, and you'll get ahead. Yeah, right? You play by the rules, and all you get is a sore back and a bank account that's flatter than a pancake. The real winners, they don't follow rules, they write in. They've got the politicians in their pockets, the regulators on speed dial, and a whole system designed to keep them on top and you on the bottom. You think voting's gonna fix it? Good luck. The game's fixed before you even get to the ballot box. Lobbyists, super PESIs, dark money. They're pulling the strings, and you're just a puppet wondering why your arms are tired. But here's the thing that really burns my biscuits. They want you to feel like it's your fault. You're not working hard enough, not smart enough, not hustling enough. They've got this whole hustle culture bullshit they're peddling, telling you to grind harder, side hustle your way to freedom. Like you're one viral TikTok away from being a millionaire. Meanwhile, the system's designed to keep you running on that hamster wheel, never getting anywhere, while they rake in the profits from your sweat. It's not about hustle, it's about leverage. And they've got all of it. You're out here fighting for scraps and they're feasting on the whole damn pie. So what do? Just roll over and take it? Hell no, you want to know why this matters? Because it's your life they're screwing with. Your kids, your future, your shot at something better. Every time you get knocked down, every time you're forced to choose between groceries and the electric bill, that's the system reminding you who's boss. But you're not helpless. You've got a voice, you've got a fire in your gut, and you've got every right to be pissed off. Don't let them tell you this is just how it is. That's what they want you to think, so you'll shut up and keep slaving away. Start talking, start questioning, start pushing back. Why should they get a free ride while you're drowning in debt? Why should they get to write the rules while you're stuck playing a game you can't win? You're not just a cog in their machine. You're a human being, damn it, and you deserve better. Demand it. Scream it from the rooftops. Organize, unionize, raise hell, whatever it takes to make them listen. Because if you don't, they'll keep rigging the game and you'll keep getting screwed. This ain't just about taxes or paychecks, it's about dignity. It's about looking your kids in the eye and telling them they've got a shot at a better life, not just a lifetime of scraping by. It's about waking up every morning knowing you're not just fodder for someone else's fortune. The system's rigged, sure, but it's not invincible. It's built by people, and people can tear it down. So let's get loud, let's get angry, and let's take back what's ours. Because if we don't, they'll keep laughing all the way to the bank, and we'll be left holding the bag again. You ever notice how the harder you bust your ass, the more the world seems to want to stick its hand in your pocket? It's like life's got a built-in tax for trying too damn hard. You grind, you sweat, you bleed for a little piece of the pie, and then, bam! Here comes the system with a grin, ready to carve out half your slice before you even get a bite. It's not just a tax, it's a punishment for having the audacity to dream, to hustle, to believe you can make